Yo, what's up guys? It's me, The Great Wit, here back again with a brand new video, and I just want to say, first of all, thank you guys so much for getting me all the way to 800 subscribers. This is a huge milestone for me, and I know by this time I'll get more than that. Like, I think right now we're at least 850 or something like that, and it's just fucking amazing, and I'm just pumped right now. Why? Because this was recommended by me by a very good person, and I'll put their name in the description below. But thank you all once more for watching my videos, taking your time off, and just bringing a bright light on my life. And I've been going through, a little bit of intensity in my life right now, and I just want to get this over with. So, for the last, if you're wondering, how come I'm not uploading that much, or how come you haven't uploaded last Friday? Well, I was researching. Not that pervy kind of research. No, I'm not that level yet. And I've been researching on this series. Now, I've been going through Greek mythology and all that shit. It literally took me fucking 4 or 3 days just to get my head wrapped around it, and how to make this series more enjoyable for you guys, the audience. Now, some of you may think, oh, it might be going a little overboard, or it shouldn't really taken that long. It took so fucking long. There's literally hours of videos on how each god is and how their, personalities are, what their freaking weapons are. Just basic shit, but it literally took so long. And I'll be adding 2 new people into the story. And they're going to be the children of one of the 2 gods. And your main character, Deku, he's going to be the son of Hades. He is going to be a vigilante. And the 2 other children, I'm not going to speak of who the parents are, but they're going to go to UA. And they're going to fight what's called Zuko soon. So you guys will know who the parents are going to be in a minute. And yeah, that's literally it. And I think it's viewer discretion is advised. There is going to be self-harm, gore, sex, and just overall things that are above 18. So if you're less than that, please click off the video. And YouTube, don't demonetize me, man. I'm so close to reaching 1K, and I really don't want to get shadow banned for something I really just love doing. And yeah, for the person who who made this What If first, it was, I think, I already watched our What If, and just trying not to copy any of the What Ifs I made. Like, the one I did with What If Deku was in the military, that was original. What If Deku was Dirov, that was original. What If Deku was the son of God, that was original. And everything that I make is original. But this one is kind of original, because the other person, they did it the same, but they didn't put it like 18 plus. So yeah. Now I think I'm just mumbling around for this for a while. So yeah, let's get right into the video. So we're gonna cut to Hades trying to flirt around with Persephone. Now this has been going on for over 1,000 years, and just Hades trying to show the love to Persephone. Now, if you're gonna ask me, well, Hades been looking like a fucking devil. This is how Hades gonna be looking like. This. Take a breather right now. This is how he's gonna fucking look like. Yes. So, he's been trying to hit up with Persephone, the goddess of spring. But Demeter, the goddess of, what's her name? The harvest, always interrupts Hades no matter what. Demeter, she does not like Hades at all. She thinks that Hades is a bad influence with her daughter, and just terrible. Hades, he been into human music, like rock and just fucking screaming and shit. That's what he enjoys mostly, and that's why he goes down to earth a lot. Only to go to the concerts and just normal things what humans would do, but just overall just listening to the music. So he loves the music very much, and and he's kind of like an emo person. He's not fully an emo, not like covering his like face with black and all, or like just coloring his hair and all. No, he's not that far in. Just he acts emo, but does not look like emo. So yeah, he been trying to hit up with Persephone for a long ass time. He been trying to give her like golden ring, diamond, rubies, all that shit. Like literally everything. He even tried to give up his dog, the 3-headed dog, Cerberus. He even tried to give it up. Like that's how far he loves Persephone. Like he doesn't want to give her a rest. He loves her that much. But Persephone, learning from Demeter, her mom, and just her mom telling her to stay away from Hades and just don't even talk to him, she does that. But she kind of likes Hades and sees how far he's going for her. So, you know what? She just gives up. She lets her champion, such as Hades, win her over. Now, Hades, he's a pacifist. That means that he doesn't really like fighting, but he will fight if he has to. Now, this may be important for a later in the story. Just keep that in mind. He's a pacifist, a person who will never fight even if he has to. Well, if he wants to, but to be exact. So, keep that in mind. It will be important later in the story. Now, once Hades just shows her a giant-ass golden ring with a blue-ass, crystal-ass diamond with a dark tint into it, she immediately says, yes, I will lovely marry you. And Hades, he been jumping around all over the earth, just being happy. He's actually happy. And he hits up the god of wine and just drinks just happily with Zeus and Poseidon. Zeus and Poseidon, they're really close with each other. Hades, he's the eldest of just the top brother. So Poseidon and Zeus, they're happy for him too. They're hyping him up. Even though Zeus is the father of Persephone, he's just happy for his brother because he actually is going to lose his fucking virginity for once. Yes, he's a virgin for just over centuries. He's been a virgin. He's been hit up by the goddess and all, but he doesn't really see much into them. So this is the first time he actually felt love and compassion towards another person. And he's not that dreaded kind of person. No, he feels actually compelled to love them. And this will bite him in the ass later in the story, just to keep that in mind. And once they planned a whole wedding and thing, and it's going to be on the top of Mount Olympus. Now, we're going to cut to the wedding. Oh boy. Shit's gonna get freaky. And Hades, he been putting on this, this suit and tie, what humans wear. And he thinks that is actually pretty formal. And all the gods and goddesses are just sitting there in their seats. And Hades just waiting there at the stand. And the priest, I'm gonna say it's gonna be, let's see. The goddess of winter. Now, she's just standing there holding a book and just waiting for Persephone. Hades, he's trying to make sure that his suit is clean, everything's clean. His little tie is clean. And he's actually nervous. The god of the underworld, the king of the underworld, is nervous. Now, Cerberus, he be there and just sitting in a corner, eating a little bit of his kibble and all, and maybe some souls, but, he's actually generally happy as well. Cerberus been wagging his tail a lot, so if his master is happy, he's happy. If his master is furious, he's furious, full of bloodlust and shit. So, yeah, Hades is waiting on the stand, just waiting for the woman of his life just to walk up there. 2 hours passed. Nothing. Hades is still, wondering where she is. And all the gods and goddesses were wondering that as well. Zeus was his, best man And Poseidon was right next to Hades, encouraging him, just, telling him what happens after the wedding. And Zeus, he'd been wondering, where is his daughter? And Poseidon, just giving out pointers on what they is supposed to do and all. But another hour passed. 3 whole hours passed, but yet Persephone's not there. Zeus, he'd been looking around the crowd, and he noticed that one of the gods are missing. Ares, the god of war. Now you've been wondering, whoa, where is he? He can't miss the big wedding. No, that can't happen. He's a god of war. Well, if you put 2 to 2 together, those who have higher IQ would know what's happening. Yeah. And Hades been looking around, just wondering, just concerned. Maybe she's late, maybe she didn't know, because right now it's a sunset. Cerberus, he been sleeping already because he's tired. And Hades just said, okay, this is weird. I specifically told her to be here at least 3 hours ago. Brother, where do you think she has gone? And Zeus just says, I'm sure she'll come. I'm 100% sure she'll come. Just give her a little minute. And they wait for at least 10 more minutes, and she does not come. So Hades, he's kind of tired now. So he says, I'm just going to go find her and see if, maybe she lost a memo or anything. So he goes and transforms into a crow and just flies around Mount Olympus. And Zeus and Poseidon, they transform into an eagle. Well, Zeus transforms into an eagle, and Poseidon transforms into a falcon. Now, all 3 of the brothers are just flying around Mount Olympus, trying to find Hades. I mean, not Hades. Persephone. Now, they all split up. So, Hades, he been looking down in the corridors of Mount Olympus. And he sees one room, specifically Ares' room, glowing. So Hades just wondering, did Ares not get the invitation? I'm sure that every god and goddess is supposed to get up here. Might as well, since I'm trying to find Persephone, I guess I'll call Ares to go up and try to entertain other gods and goddesses. And Hades, he de-transforms back to his god state and just walks through the door. Well, first he knocks and he hears muffling. So he just thinks, Ares is probably just, sleeping and all. So Hades just opens the door and sees Persephone choking on Ares' 2-inch dick. Yes, she's just choking on that shit. And moment of silence, please. Hades just saw Ares with his 2-inch disappointment of a fucking dick shove that right in Persephone's mouth. Now she been gurgling and all that, acting like it's big and all, and just, trying to talk, but you can easily talk if there's a 2-inch dick in your mouth, but she's just acting like she can't talk and just muffles. Hades just looks at Ares first, and just at Persephone. Then Persephone, then Hades. I mean, not Hades. Ares. Then Ares to just freaking Persephone. Just full on just look at each other. And Hades just says, is there some incest bullshit going on in your room, Ares? Just look at me. Look at me, Ares. Look. And Ares just looks straight at Hades. And he's just terrified. Because he just fucked the girl that Hades liked. And Ares is actually the brother of Persephone. And they're actually stepbrothers. So, step bro! So, you know what's going on there. So, Hades just says, you have until 5 fucking seconds before I rip your dick out, Ares, and shove it down your throat and get the fuck out. So Ares just, he he quickly tries to take his dick out, but fucking Persephone with her teeth chomps it, and just you can just hear the screams of Ares with his dick on the floor, and he's just bleeding out. He's just holding on to his dick. You know, he sees his dick on the floor and he tries to pick it up. You know, looking at his Hades just looks at him and says, "Boy, you better pick that shit up and leave. I'm not picking that shit. You better pick your shit up and leave, man." Oh, I almost said it. Hades been rubbing his forehead, you know, just awfully almost pissed at this point because he just saw the woman of his dreams get fucked, literally, in front of him. She been gurgling on that shit, yet she chomped it off and just spit it out and is on the floor, and Ares is picking it up, you know, just looking at it and just looking back at fucking Persephone and then looking back on his dick. It is quickly grabbing his groin and then just wobbling his way out of his own room. So Persephone and Hades look at each other. Persephone says, "So you're mad?" And Hades, you know, he goes in and closes the door behind him and says, "No, I ain't mad. I ain't mad. Don't worry, big girl. I ain't mad. I'm gonna fucking kill your ass. I'm gonna feed your soul to my dog. That's how bad I wanna fucking kill you right now." And Persephone says, "Please don't. Was sorry be good?" And Hades just says, "Sorry? Bitch, why the fuck you been doing incest in this goddamn room? I'm this close to fucking feeding you to my dog. You're lucky. You're so goddamn fucking lucky that you're the daughter of my brother. Or if you were any other person right now, I would just cut your throat, watch you bleed, revive you, cut your throat again, revive you, watch you bleed again, revive you, cut your throat, I'll just kill your ass all over again. Eat your soul, spit it out, shit it, and then put it back in your body, bring it out back, revive you, and shit on you again." Are we talking clear right now? Look at me. Just look at me. And he just grabs Persephone by the fucking throat and just yanks just like straight to his face. And just says, You listening? You listening right now? Look in my eyes right now. I'm this close to fucking breaking your neck right now, nigga. I'm this close to fucking saying the N-word. And don't worry, I'm actually half black, so don't roast me in the comments if I actually said the N-word. I just really don't like saying it. So Hades been looking straight into Persephone's eyes and says, "I'm gonna feed you to my dog. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna feed you to Cerberus, and he's gonna like it." And Persephone, she's terrified right now, and she doesn't know what to do. So, in a panic, she calls on her father. "Dad! Daddy!" And Zeus just appears out of nowhere, and just a zap of thunder right in the middle between them. And Hades, he falls back and says, "Oh, so you're calling on Ares now, huh? He's your daddy now." And he just sees that Zeus. And Zeus just looks back at Persephone and then looks back at Hades and says, "What the fuck is going on?" And Persephone, looking at Zeus, and Hades just saying, "Well, the thing is going on right now is," and Persephone just cuts Hades off and says, "He tried to attack me. He tried to rape me. We were getting married and he tried to rape me. He was that desperate for fucking pussy." And Zeus just looks back at Hades and says, "Brother, I know you're older than me, but what the fuck? I know you're getting married, but you can't do that. We're gonna be an honest marriage. Why the fuck would you do that?" And Hades just blew out, says, "Are you fucking kidding me right now? Huh? You bellend? You imbecile? You're my little brother. How dumb are you? You're the king of the gods, yet you think that one person's opinion just tapples over another person's opinion? What the fuck is going on with you? You raised a fucking whore. Why the fuck would you raise a fucking whore and just do incest of her own fucking stepbro? Like, I know we're brothers and all, but what the fuck? Are you even a good father? And right when you said father, Zeus just zaps at Hades and says, I am a good father, and you are definitely not a good brother. And Hades, he zapped back. He's like, fucking hit a pillar and fell down. And Hades, he coughed off a little bit of blood and just says, oh, okay, this is where we're going now, huh? I guess we're gonna teach you who the real king is gonna be, huh? Huh? You wanna go? And he blows his, his fingers, and Cerberus comes out of nowhere and just goes straight to fucking Zeus. Zeus, he just punches Cerberus, sending her flying, and Hades took this chance and took out his scythe. Yes, I changed his weapon. I changed his weapon to a scythe. And Hades just slashes right at Zeus, and it causes him to bleed a little. It wasn't like a full-blown slash. It was just like a graze. And Zeus, he's bleeding out a little bit, but Hades just puts the scythe right to his neck, like the back of his neck, and says, you do that shit one more time, I'ma cut you and her. And Zeus just says, you are not gonna marry my daughter. And Hades just says, I don't give a fuck if you marry your daughter right now. Alright? I could get hella bitches. And yet, you've been acting like a terrible father. You aren't even teaching these kids. You're just letting them roam free, doing what the fuck they want. Maybe they actually had a relationship with each other. And Zeus just says, who? And Zeus just looks back at Persephone and says, were you seeing someone while just dating my brother? And Persephone just says, no, I didn't. And Hades just says, bullshit. Say it. Say the truth, so-called goddess of spring. I'm waiting. If you don't say right now, I'm gonna cut your head off. Just say right now. If you don't say anything right now, I'm gonna cut your head off. Alright? I'm gonna take Ares' dick and shove it down so far down your throat that you will suffocate and die. And I'll revive you back again, and you'll put the back that dick in your mouth, and you'll suffocate and die. Like, I can't believe you would choose a fucking 2-incher and a fucking 15-incher right here. And Hades just pats his groin and says, yes, a 15-incher. So, be happy that you're having some incest with your own brother with a 2-incher. That's just disappointing right there. I seen a shrimp have a bigger dick than his. And Poseidon can back me up. Hey, Poseidon, come over here. And he just calls Poseidon up. And Poseidon comes out of nowhere, and he transforms from I think it was a hawk, back to his godly form. And just says, what the fuck is going on? And Hades just says, well, this bitch of a fucking whore decided to cheat on me with her own fucking brother. And Hades just looks straight to Persephone's eyes, and she's just crying. And Poseidon just looks straight at Persephone and says, is this true? And out of nowhere, Demeter and all the rest of the gods finally come. They had enough waiting around, and they notice that Cerberus is gone. So they all head down, and Demeter, I think it was called, comes down and tries to protect Persephone. Zeus is on the floor, and everyone just sees Hades having a scythe right around the back of his head. So all the gods just charge at Hades, and Hades back off. So Cerberus comes out of nowhere and just defends Hades. And Hades just says, I'm done. I'm done with you. I'm done with you, and fucking you, whore. And you too, Demeter. Fuck you all. Zeus, if you're really my brother, you would believe me. So, for now on, fuck you. Poseidon, you a real man. You're the only brother I ever, really think that you're just a real good brother right now. Like, thank you for at least, thinking before acting and just look straight at Zeus. And Poseidon just says, I still don't get what's going on. Like, did you really fuck your own brother, Persephone? And Demeter just says, hush, and just, cuddling with Persephone and just trying to make her feel better because she's just crying right there, and all the gods and goddesses just try to comfort her. And Hades just says, look, you're comforting a fucking whore. Where's Ares? Bring his ass down here. And Poseidon just says, I saw Ares wobble away. I don't really know where he went. And Hades just says, oh, good. Okay. I'm going to cut his ass. I'm going to cut his ass next. And Zeus, my man, my brother, my younger brother, believe me, your daughter's a whore. Okay? So I'm going to head down to my kingdom, and I don't want to see her face until I get a full-on apology. Alright? I want a hawk sent from Olympus, like, with your own signature and all, saying, I'm sorry. And now you will never do that again. And you will think before acting, huh? Thinking that you're the king of the whole gods and all. I revoke you. I revoke you. Okay? So I'm gonna head down. I'm gonna take a huge dump. And I'm gonna drink. Alright? That's what I'm gonna do. So Hades, he gets on Cerberus and goes straight down to the underworld. And does that. But we're gonna cut to Poseidon. And Poseidon, he helps up Zeus and says, better start doing on the apology, dude. And Zeus just says, I'll never do that. He hurt my daughter. Even though he's my brother. Even though she did all those horrible things. And probably in a matter of 3 hours or so, she's still my daughter. And Poseidon just says, like father, like daughter. She's just like you, a whore. You literally slept with many women behind Hera's back, and once Persephone, she does that, you're actually acknowledging her for doing that shit? Like, no, we're not doing that. And Zeus just says, ugh, get away, and just zaps away and just heads back to his room. Hera and all the rest just carry or fucking help out Persephone up. She's crying still. Demeter, she helps up her own daughter, and Poseidon was just left there on his own. And he decides, I might as well go and help out my brother a little bit at least. So he heads down to the underworld, and he just sees, the gates of what's it called, a purgatory. So he opens up the gates and just goes straight to his throne room. He sees Hades, sitting on his throne, drinking, just trying to forget all of it. And Poseidon just says, so, you took a dump? And Hades just says, yup. Just drinking a little bit. Trying to forget all the fuck that she just did. I could really rely on you, Poseidon. So, what's next? I literally lost everything. The one that I really liked, but she was actually a whore. What do you think I should do, brother? And Poseidon just says, it's not the matter of what I say, it's what you will do. I want you to meet an actual woman that you will like. Give a little chance in life. Not, enrich them with gold and money and all. Just look at the girl or the woman that you love for their personality. And not a person who will deceive you and you will just give them money for doing them bad. And freaking Hades just says, I'm just gonna stay here for a while and just calm my nerves for a while. Okay? then I'll start thinking on, dating again. And Poseidon just goes up to his throne and just pats Hades on the shoulder and says, you know, I'm sure you'll find a woman that you very much love. Now, I should be going now. And Poseidon, he leaves, and he's just left by himself. Hades is just left there with Cerberus, just being his service dog. Hades, he thinks Cerberus as his, his pal, his only friend in the entire world. Cerberus is the only friend for his freaking Hades, and that's sad for a man to think that an animal as a friend, like more like a person who they can only rely on. It's kind of sad. So many years pass, and just over 100 years pass, and the Earth, it changed. Now people have quirks, just got out of nowhere, probably from the blessing from the gods. And just everyone has, like, at least only 80% of the world's population has quirks. Hades did not know about this. Only Zeus and other gods know. So does Poseidon. Zeus and Poseidon and the rest of the gods share their gifts along with the humans. Now they have powers, and what soon they had a society of heroes and villains, and just everything that happened there happened. But Hades, he did not know any of this would ever happen. He's just there on his throne, just watching over the damned. Those who are good just go straight up to Valhalla, while those who are bad go straight down to the fire pits of purgatory. And yeah, that's what he's been doing for the rest of the just millions of years. So Poseidon, he once goes down and says, so many years pass now, so are you feeling good? And Hades, he just says, yeah, I guess. I mean, nothing really much has changed. And Poseidon, he just says, are you sure? Do you want to see the world once more? You want to see the light once more, to be exact? And friggin' Hades just says, I don't really care. I mean, nothing really much has changed. Humans still becoming idiots, falling for women who are actually very beautiful. Nothing really much has changed. And Poseidon says, no, I beg to differ. Come, I'll show you. And Poseidon takes what's called Hades up to Earth and just shows him how much has changed. The structures have become bigger. There's skyscrapers. There's beautiful cities, and just overall amazing. Hades and Poseidon are just on top of the Earth, just looking over. And he pointed out one continent, and Hades just says, what's that? And friggin' Poseidon, he says, well, that's what people or humans call Japan. And Hades just says, oh, it looks peaceful. Do you want to come down there with me? Because I really don't know much about this place. And Poseidon just says, sure, I'll give you the get-go. And Poseidon and Hades go down to Earth and just sees the beautiful landscape of Japan. Everything there. The trees are as cherry and blossom trees are all over the place. Everything is beautiful. You see people walking around the street, and then you hear explosion. Poseidon and Hades went down and see what was the whole commotion about, and he sees heroes versus villains. Now, Hades doesn't know if there's villains or heroes. He just sees that there's a group of people fighting. Poseidon, he explains everything about people thinking that these powers that they were blessed were called quirks, and they built a society out of it. And Hades just, he's taking it all in, and he's actually pretty happy. Because now that he can actually use his powers on Earth without people just looking at him like a weirdo or like a witch or something like bad like that. So Poseidon, he let out a little bit of his power, controlling water, and people just around him don't really care. So Hades, he brings out, a little bit of flame in his hands, and people just look around him, just look at him, and just they don't really care, and just think that, oh, it's just their quirks. So Hades just look around and just sees that people are not really much paying attention. And this actually, brings a smile to Hades' face, because he can actually use his powers without nobody stopping him. But Poseidon just, pats his shoulders and says, well, we aren't allowed to use all of our powers. Only minimal. And Hades just says, I can see why. These humans have very poor power, to be exact. And Poseidon just says, don't worry, sooner or later, their generations will spark up. And Poseidon says, so, do you wish for a drink? And Hades just says, would I ever? I'm starting to get tired of the freaking gods, the god of wine. His wine is okay and all, but, sometimes it could be disgusting at most. And Poseidon, he'll have a big smile on his face, says, well, I'll take you to my favorite bar. These humans have created such delicacy. It's actually very surprising. And Hades just says, I guess let's go. And what's called, so he shows him around the place and just brings him to his bar. Poseidon, he orders 2 beers, fresh, and just did some complicated words or mumbo jumbles that Hades did not really understand. And once the bartender says, coming right up, and brings out 2 big cups of beer. Hades and what's called Poseidon, they hit each other with the what's called cup and drinks, or whatever it's called. And Hades, he's actually feeling pretty good. He's, he thinks this is actually a good lifestyle. People actually have good beer. The god of wine would actually feel, actually be impressed. And Poseidon just, gives him everything, every knowledge of what the earth is now. And Poseidon just says, well, if you want, you can stay here for a while. I mean, no one will really care since we can use our powers and all. And I don't think that Zeus will ever get mad that you will be down here on Earth. And this stops what's called Hades' heart. And it says, Zeus hasn't, sent me an apology or anything. And Poseidon just says, don't worry, I'm sure that he will. He just has to come around at least a bit. And Hades just puts his head down and says, was I really going that far? And Poseidon just, responds and says, no, you were not the wrong here. It was actually Persephone. And Hades just says, are the other gods still protecting her? And Poseidon, says, yeah, of course. Nothing much has changed. And this surprised Hades, actually, because if he thinks that the whole earth and all the people changed, how come the rest of the gods hasn't changed one bit? Which kinda, intrigues Hades a little bit, but he doesn't really care at the same time. So Poseidon, he gets up and says, well, he can stay here as long as you like. I'm gonna head back to my domain. And he just transforms, he gets out of the bar and transforms into a hawk and goes straight into the ocean, going to where he calls his home, Atlantis. And Hades is just left there at the bar, and you know what? He continues on drinking. He doesn't want to stop. He just thinks that, at least I'll get all the beers for myself. And he just continues on drinking and drinking until the night. Now, this is where the pro hero, Inko Midoriya, otherwise known as, what's it called? I'll just call her Telepathic Girl for her hero name. And she just comes in with a few of her friends. They ask for a drink and all, but the bartender says, "Sorry, gals, this guy has drank it all." And Inko just looks straight at Hades, and Hades is just fucked. Like, he's not even able to move, but he still be able to drink. And some of the girls that was with Inko, they blush a little just looking at Hades. And they haven't even seen their face, but they know for a fact that he's cute. So Inko just walks up to what's called Hades and just asks, "How the hell did you drink all the beer?" And Hades just slowly gets up and just looks straight at Inko and says, "My, you are very cute." And he hiccups. And Inko just says, "Shut up, you old drunkie." And freaking Hades just puts his hand on her shoulder, saying, "I enjoy humans like you." And Inko took this as aggressive, so she just did this whole complicated move and just slams Hades on the fucking table and breaks it. Hades, he knocked out for the count. And Inko, without knowing, she actually knocked out Hades. And she just, quickly apologized, but he can't hear her. So the bartender just says, "Are you gonna fix that table? Like, are you gonna pay for it?" And she just says, "Why the hell would I pay?" And just notices that she was the one who caused the whole, table breaking. And she just drops a couple of yen and just wondering and just thinking, why the hell would this guy just touch her for no apparent reason? Now, we're cutting to Hades. He's still unconscious on the broken table. And he finally gets his senses and just quickly gets up. He sees the yen is on the table, and he just grabs it and just drops 1 gold coin on it and says, "I'm sure this will be great." And the bartender just looks at the gold coin and just his jaw dropped. Fucking and it seems that he has an actual heart attack. And he just says, "I don't really care." So he just walks out and tries to find Inko, or the woman with green hair. And he's just regularly having this whole memory of her, just for a split second, just looking at her and actually thinking that she's actually beautiful, very beautiful, and just looking into her eyes and just reminding him of the grassy fields of what it used to look like back on what he sees as Earth. So once he finds her, he tried to talk with her, and they actually had a decent conversation. Sooner or later, they talked even more and more and more. Now, they're actually getting intimate with each other. But Hades, he doesn't want to feel the pain of regret or despair. So he gives a few trials for her. He put a black cat in a playground where kids are. He controls the kids on throwing stones at the cat. Once Inko passed by and saw the kids throwing stones, she quickly grabbed the rocks and just throws them down the floor and just talks at the kids. Some of the kids were confused on what they were doing. Then she just sees the cat and just picks it up and just petting it. Hades, he's actually impressed and continues on doing more trials. And ultimately, she passed all the trials. And once Hades and Inko talked a lot, and once they're actually having a good relationship. And while they were walking, they crossed a bridge, and Hades stopped Inko. Inko says, "What is it?" And he just gets on one knee and says, "Well, I saw this from a movie once while we were, going on a date. So I decided to do this with you." And he pulls out a ring. And it is a blue crescent, like black diamond ring with gold and just a beautiful ring. And she just, holds on, friggin' gasps. I think I said it wrong, but she gasps and just crying out and says, "Yes, yes, I'll marry you." And they both hug, and Inko and Hades kiss. Now, Inko does not know that Hades is the god of the underworld or king of the underworld. So they actually had a decent wedding. Only the people from Inko's family actually showed up, and some of her own colleagues as well. And even some of the pro heroes that she's actually very familiar with, such as All Might, heads and goes to her wedding. Then, many years pass. Now they decided to have a kid. Soon or later, they had sex. They literally had sex and everything. And 9 months later, Izuku Midoriya is born. Now, if you guys love the series or are just starting to like it, please leave it at least 20 likes for I can know that if you guys want to see more of this. Now, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll start to, get better with my upload schedule. And please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you all later. Bye!